Welcome to Joe's Atmosphere.
Cook your shrimp, please. All of a sudden, my shrimp pan is burning up like a smoke fest.
Yeah, bingo! Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. It's time for Chillin' at the Club. It's the 11th episode of Chilling at the Club. We had to do this tonight because my brother had some technical difficulties with his computer. So I am here to entertain and talk about the day's subjects and stuff like that. We don't have that rapid fire thing like he and I do when I'm doing this, but you guys have been here before. We'll have a cocktail and talk about whatever you want to talk about because, you know, kind of like my man Cody Rhodes says, you know.
So, what do you guys want to talk about?
Of course, you know, the news cycle has been just dominated with the Charlie Kirk stuff. So if you want to talk about that, we can. Me, personally, I've had enough of it. But, you know, hey, that is up to you guys. It is the chat that will decide what we're doing this evening. Good to see you guys. My good man Martin is here in the chat. Good to see you, my brother. And he says Vince Womack is not here already. Well, now I'm surprised, he says. Let me get some background music going real quick. I gotta get the smooth sounds of sharking for pearls going in the background. My brother may not be here in person, but he is here in spirit always. And as you can tell, we've got the music going in the background. I don't want it going too loud. You guys let me know if it's if it's too loud for me to talk over. But anyway, let me take a look at something here. Yeah, I think I downloaded this thing, but I didn't, so I'm going to go ahead and do it now. Just so you guys can see it. If you haven't checked out my brother's newest album, it's called Sojourn. And this is part of the album cover right there. You know, it's got the map of the world. He's on a sojourn, trying to shark for those pearls. You know what I'm saying? So, you guys go check it out wherever you get your music at. It's on iTunes, and I'm pretty sure they have a playlist up on YouTube. I'll check that real quick and throw the link in the chat for you guys. Let me see. Go ahead and keep that up there because I'm going to talk about that for sure. But let me go ahead and get this playlist up here that you guys can check out here. Let me go ahead and share this screen. All right, let's take a look. Sharking for pearls. All I had to do is punch in S. Boom. There it is. And if you go to the topic page, you will see all of his playlists. He's got 5 albums out here, guys. Is it 5 or 6? Let me see. No, it's 5. It's 5. So you guys come check it out, man. Sharking for Pearls. Everywhere where you want to get your music at. This one is called Hot Foot. I think it's off of his 3rd one. Which, let's see. I think it's Astral Plane is the 3rd one. Yeah. Pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. It might be the 4th one. I don't know. I can't keep track. He's pumping them out so fast. I can't tell what's going on, man. But anyway, it's good to see you guys. Let me go ahead and drop that out of there until we decide what we want to yak about. Did you watch the memorial today? I didn't watch it. It's an NFL day for me. You know, I'm more worried about the ball games. And oh my God, my man Knock must be beside himself. Looks like the Chargers have tied up their game with the Broncos here in the closing moments. We're at the 2-minute warning. The Broncos have the ball. Oh boy, he's on pins and needles right now. He's been blowing my phone up, but I'm on the chat now, so I can't really talk about that. But you guys grab your cocktail of choice here on this Sunday evening. I'm going to have, whether Martin likes it or not, I'm going to use the military police shot glass that I have. If that thing zeroes in on it, I don't know if it will or not. Let's see if it will. I don't know if it will zero in on it. But anyway, you can see it's got the cross pistols there, you know. That's the symbol of the military police corps, and we will endeavor to persevere this evening. Got a little Chuck Daniels for the evening. Cheers, boys and girls. Here's to the beginning of another work week tomorrow. Cheers. And the virus of unknown origin to wash it down with. All right. Let's see. Martin says, it's okay. I approve. Gotcha, man. Gotcha. Well, I mean, it's hard not to approve the cross pistols. I mean, you know, I know Gary doesn't like military policemen, but, you know, he puts up with me because, you know, we got a lot of the same interests and things. Anyway, yeah, I'm monitoring these games down the stretch now. This could be part of the reason why my brother's not here tonight. Let's see. What are you saying? Oh my God, the thought chime. Yeah. You've never noticed that? Yeah, it's on there. That's when somebody puts a chat in. So, and I'm monitoring all the chats. I do want to take a look and see what's going on X real quick. Let's take a look at that, see if it's running. Decided to run this tonight on X, and it is not working on X. I swear. This thing that I friggin' pay for is just yikes. I mean, X, it never works for some reason. I don't know what it is, but it's working on the other channels, so we'll just go from there. Let's see, who else is in here? Real Wade Nation comes in with those 3 little letters that we love so much. You know what they are.
Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, man, it's good to see you, Real Wade. Good to see you. And we also have coming in, hot is Parrot Head. Good to see you, Parrot Head. No, this is when it's just me talking to you guys, man. That's what chilling at the club's all about. Okay, just chilling here, just chilling with the stream, with the chat, and deciding what we're gonna talk about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what's up there. What's he? Here we go. That's right. That's another video I got, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I said.
Bad thing is, right now, our good man, Dak Prescott, who is from right here, hot Louisiana, it's not doing so hot. 2 minutes to go in their game, and he's down by 17 points. They are getting smoked up there in Chicago. Caleb Williams all of a sudden can play football. So I guess the Cowboys are in trouble. That kind of sucks. I'm no big Bears fan, and I'm not a big Cowboys fan either, but I do. If I don't have a dog in the hunt, I pull for players, and I'm pulling for Dak Prescott in that one, man. You know, like to see him do well because he's from here. I mean, if it's somebody, oh my gosh, 43 seconds left in the Denver Los Angeles Chargers game. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Yep, we got 43 seconds left in that one. We'll see what happens in that one. One that everybody picked Arizona today, and I picked the Niners. And the Niners had the lead up until just recently. So with 2 minutes left, the Cardinals are trying to run out the clock on them. It looks like they might be able to do it because the Niners only have 1 timeout left. So we'll see what happens. It's 3rd and 9. If they can stop them, let's refresh it real quick. See what happens. Oh, I see somebody. It's Jason waving at me. What's up, man? Good to see you. Let's see. Yeah, he's got the pink wavy hands like he always has. It's good to see it. What's jacked up is it doesn't show up as that here. It's just a bunch of pink wavy hands, blah. That's what it looks like on here. So. Okay, it's good to see you, man. But anyway, did you watch the Kirk Memorial today? I did check out part of it. It went on for a while. I think when I checked in on it, Marco Rubio was talking, and this was in between games actually it was about halftime of the games, about 4 o'clock. I checked in on it, and Marco Rubio was speaking, and it started at 1. They apparently had so many people at this thing. I think my wife tagged me in a post on here. Let me see if she did. I got to switch it to mine real quick, I think. She probably sent it to my personal one. Let's see. I don't see anything from Rhonda. Maybe she texted it to me. I'll try and find it, but look, they had so many people. They filled the stadium that the Cardinals play in, and there was no more room. They had thousands of people outside the stadium taking photos of it with their phone and stuff. Let me see. I'll have to... Let me check my phone. Maybe she texted it to me on my phone. Let me see real quick. But yeah, did anybody watch it? What did you think of it? Oh my gosh. He has friggin'... Okay. He is blowing my phone up. I had 53 messages from him. Let's...
Messenger.
Oh, it's on Messenger? Are you watching me or something? Oh, okay, cool. Rhonda's watching. She's not in the chat, but she's watching. I'm doing great, Jason. I'm doing great. And let's see. It's still going, Parrothead says. Really? Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, she said she sent it to me on Messenger. I'm going to take a look real quick for it. She had a video that she sent. I'm not sure if it's Instagram or what, but let me see. Notifications. Check it out real quick. Nah. I must need to switch it over to my regular page.
Facebook.
I heard you. Yeah, I heard you, Rhonda. It's just this thing. It goes straight to Meta, and you got to do things through there. Okay. Let's see. Yep. Let's see. Messenger. Yeah, the only thing I've got in here is from Big Daddy, the guy who shall not be named unless he shows up. But anyway, I'll see if I can find it real fast another way. I'll look for it on my phone and send it through WhatsApp. There's more than one way to skin a cat, boys and girls. All you have to do is find a way to do it. I can navigate my phone a lot better than I can my computer. Let's see. Messenger. And once again, it's got me on the business page, which I don't want to be there. I want to be... See, there's no telling where she sent it to. Whether she sent it to my personal one or my Joe's Atmosphere one, I just don't know. So I'll just have to switch back and forth here. Yep, there it is. She sent it to my personal one. That's why I can't find it on the computer, because all the computer wants to do is show me my business ones, and that's it. Okay, let me send this over to WhatsApp. Let's see. All right, turn down the volume. Share. WhatsApp. And I'll send it right there. Okay. That should be it. All I have to do is open WhatsApp now and find it. The joys of live television. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. Go ahead and stop it. Actually, let's go ahead. I don't know if it's got sound or not. We'll go ahead and put it on a Chrome tab so we can hear it with sound. Let's see. Oh. Yep, it does have sound. So let me go ahead and get this rolling with a Chrome tab real quick. Yeah, check this out. This was outside of the stadium. Look how many people are out here. They're singing Amazing Grace. That's how many people couldn't get in there. This is outside the stadium. Look at that. And the stadium's packed. There isn't an empty seat in the stadium. Is that crazy or what? That's a big turnout, boys. That's, yeah. That's right. Fuck it, we're doing live. That's right. I sent somebody that meme the other day. Let's see. Connie Cleary is here saying hi to everybody. Hey, good to see you, young lady. What's new and exciting? Yeah, we're just talking about how many people showed up at this thing for Charlie Kirk, man. And how's it going, Wolverine? Quarter Jew says. Yeah, it's going good, man. I'm just keeping my finger on the pulse of the end of the NFL day and just filling people in. I just got done showing a video of how many people were outside that stadium. It's amazing, isn't it? You know, it's a moment that people will never forget. You know, it's one of those milestones in American history when somebody that really, you know, was behind a movement that was, you know, trying to change the way we talk to each other in this country. I've been watching a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of people. It's polarizing, just like everything else we do is these days. But I'm just focused on the fact that a guy was gunned down right in front of God and everybody saw it, and it's a shame, But his family seems like they're ready to keep his dream alive, as they say. They're going to keep Turning Point going, and I'd love to see some numbers on how much money they're taking in. I'm sure it's a non-profit organization. I'm sure that's what they've set it up as. It's probably a foundation or something like that. I've never really, gotten into it. But, I didn't watch everything the guy did, but I enjoyed his stuff that he put out. And I enjoyed the fact that he, was willing to listen to the other side. Because, hey, look, when he got shot, I unplugged for like half a week, guys. I got away from the internet for a little bit because it was just getting too stupid there for a little bit. And it was the best thing I did for myself, really. Sometimes you got to unplug from this thing because you got to remember that the internet, look, first of all, you're talking to keyboard warriors that would never talk to you like that in person. Never. They would never talk to you the way they do on the internet. But because they have that, first of all, wall of anonymity and, a platform where anybody can see them, they feel like they can say whatever they want, and in a perfect world, you can, free speech is very important, if for nothing else. Back in the day, I think when I did this week's pop culture stream, we talked a lot about Robert Redford, and one of the reasons why I got into journalism to begin with when I was a kid was I saw All the President's Men with him and Dustin Hoffman in it, and I wanted to be one of those truth seekers, man. I wanted to be one of those guys that, expose the bad guys, man. I knew superheroes weren't real, but I knew journalists were trying to get at the truth, and at least that's the way it was portrayed to me. And then when I was fresh out of the Army, I was 21 years old when I started college. I was attending Louisiana State University here in Shreveport, LSUS. They're called the Pilots. Actually, they made the news this year because the unbelievable feat. They were the first college baseball team at any level to go undefeated in a season. They won 59 games in a row. It was amazing. But anyway, I went there for about, I want to say, one full semester and a month. Because that second semester, I got a bar job, and I never went back to class because I was making money hand over fist. But look, man, I acknowledge when you come in here all the time, but you don't have to use that in such a derogatory way, bro. I understand it's free speech and everything, but nerds is not the way to introduce yourself to the crew, bro. And no, his name is not Fuck Headquarters 2005. He has a name.
There are some who call me Tim.
It's good to see you, Tim. How you doing, man? He's calling me a nerd. I know I'm a nerd. Like anybody doesn't know I'm not that I'm a nerd. Come on, I've been a nerd my whole life. It's good to see you. Martin says the fact alone that he could keep his cool talking with effing Vash is a testament to his character. No doubt, man. I would tell you to look up, let's see. What is this here? Tim says they need to revisit Brandenburg versus Ohio at some point. What is that, my friend? Let's see real quick. What is Brandenburg versus Ohio? He brings it up. Let me see if I can find it. Says here. A statement. Hang on. It says here Brandenburg versus Ohio. February 27th, 1969. Decided in 1969. A state may not forbid speech advocating the use of force or unlawful conduct unless the advocacy is directed to inciting or producing imminent lawless action and is likely to incite or produce such action. A state may not forbid speech advocating unless this advocacy is directed. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. See. You guys want to get in the weeds on the First Amendment? Is that what you want to do? Is that really what you want to do tonight? I mean, I'm one of those people that thinks that I'm like Joe Rogan. I think free speech is very important, and I think the best way to combat bad speech is more speech. If you know somebody's lying, expose them. That's the easiest way to do it. You know what I mean? That's the best way to disinfect that. That's what I would say. Let's see. But let me finish my story real quick about the journalism school. I saw that movie when I was a kid, and I really wanted to be a journalist. And that's what I decided to study when I got out of the military police corps, right? And I was going to LSUS, and some of the things I saw there, man, wow. I mean, there's certain things that we actually, for instance, the Charlie Kirk shooting, okay? You notice on the big three networks and Fox News, they didn't show it. They showed everything right up until it, right? And they showed the crowd scattering, but if you were on X, you saw it. And you saw it pretty clearly. And these are the kinds of things, when I was in journalism school, that they said you could not share. They showed us pictures of, I don't know if you remember the incident of the, I think it was a city councilman, or maybe it was a small town mayor. I want to say it was in Pennsylvania. And this is before 86, because that's the fall of 86 is when I started school. He had called a press conference, and he blew his own brains out at the press conference. And they showed us, these photographers back then had these great cameras that could click off frame after frame after frame really fast. And they showed us the pictures the guy had taken that didn't go into the paper, okay? And he was bracing for it, and then when he did it, his face went blank. It was really scary looking, man. And they were teaching us what we don't put in front of the public. There was another one. It was a picture of a fire escape that was collapsing, and I don't know where the guy that was taking the picture was. I don't know if he was in the same building or close or had a telephoto lens, but he was definitely on the same level of that fire escape. And there was a fireman and a woman with a baby, and the thing was collapsing, and they were just starting to fall. And the looks on their faces was just, you wouldn't want to show that to anybody who cared about those people. And that's what they're trying to avoid. They're trying to avoid disturbing people. Yeah, you can write in graphic detail what happens, right? But you can't actually show them stuff like that. Now, X, you saw all of it, right? Anything that people with a phone had, they showed it, right? Let's see. Tim says, I'm for free speech. When does it become incitement? Yeah, that's the question, isn't it? And I've heard the case being put out there that, you know, these people have been calling us bad guys for years and years now, actual years, and it has what do you call it? Dehumanized certain people in the public's eyes. Well, I don't feel that way, but I can see where it's had that effect on some of the weaker-minded and the not so sane folks in the population. That's for sure. What's the night game? The night game is the 0-2. I can't believe I'm saying this. The 0-2 Kansas City Chiefs visiting the 0-2 New York Giants. Both of the teams playing on Sunday Night Football tonight have not won a game. None of them have. Neither one of them have. And I don't know if you saw the games last week, but Dallas outscored the Giants last week in the best game of the week. It was amazing. It was a fun game to watch. But, yeah, that's who's on tonight. The Chiefs are trying to get their first win, and so are the Giants. So it should be good. I mean, if Russell Wilson keeps playing the way he is, look out. And on the flip side, he's got weapons. The poor guy on the other side of the ball doesn't. The problem with the Chiefs right now is Patrick Mahomes is the offense. He's the leading rusher on the team. Now, when your quarterback is the leading rusher, unless your name is Jalen Hurts, that's a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's Kelsey's not playing well, and I'm sure he'll snap. He likes to show out when the lights are on, so you know I'm sure he'll show up tonight. I picked the Chiefs tonight, but that's the night game. But anyway, getting back to me studying journalism, there's certain things you don't put out there, and yeah, that friggin' the scariest one I saw though was that friggin' fire escape in Boston collapsing. That was ridiculous, man. Oh my God, that was scary looking. Because they were a few floors up, and they didn't make it. It's obvious they didn't make it. Martin says dehumanization is the weapon of choice of the leftists. Remember, it was the Yazidis who were socialists who invented all these propaganda techniques. No doubt. No doubt. And that's the thing. That's what we got to guard against. Now, when I say guard against, here's the shame of it, man. Pretty much all the networks are is propaganda pieces now. I can't even watch Fox News. I don't like watching it either, because it's my wife, or excuse me, not my wife. My mother loves it, and I'm like, oh, you want to watch the Trump cheerleaders? Okay, hang on. Yeah. I don't like it when it. Just give me the facts, man. I don't want your editorial. See, we used to call it what it was back in the day. We called it editorial. You know, they clearly said this is an editorial. They had an entire editorial page in the paper, and all it was opinions. And that's all these people have forgotten, that these talking heads, they're nothing but opinions. Okay? Go out and find your own facts. Really would like to see the facts presented, you know, on the nightly news like it used to be. But it's just not. It's all opinionated, man. It really is. And it's a damn shame. You can still find good journalism. I tell you what, man, one of the best guys doing it these days is that dude that hangs out with Jimmy Dore. You find him on Substack, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he's really good. But I tell you one thing, guys, the news, at least I can vouch for this, since the 80s on, has been very opinionated. Okay, this just didn't happen overnight. It's been happening for a long time. I was walking up the steps of the student center one night at LSUS in the winter of '87. And my second semester, the month I was there, me and my buddy that joined the Army with me, we took a night class. That's another reason why I quit going to class. He and I ended up going to the bars after our class. Just didn't go back to class. Took a history class with him at night, and we were walking up to the student center. We'd gotten there a little early, and there was a local news crew out there. It was just a reporter with a cameraman, and she waved us over. Pretty black girl, and she said, "Can we ask you a few questions?" I said, "Yeah, sure." And she didn't know I was a journalism student, right? And she's, they fire up the camera, put me in front of it, and they said, "How do you feel about President Reagan making deep cuts to higher education?" And I said, "Well, my friend and I here joined the military so we could get college money, and doesn't really affect us. We're Army vets, and we got plenty of money to go to school on." And before I could say anything else, she looked at the cameraman and went like this. The kill it, universal kill it sign, right? Stop filming, right? And cut, And I said, "You don't want to talk to me anymore?" And she goes, "No, we're done. Thank you. Appreciate it." And I said, "Wait a minute. Excuse me for a second. I'm studying journalism here. I'm taking communication journalism, and they're teaching us that we're supposed to cover every side of a story. You don't do that?" And she actually said this to me. She said, "No, we just want to talk to people that are getting hurt by it." And that was in 1987, boys and girls. So remember, when you're watching the local news, even the local news, that just get the facts out of it. Train your ears to just listen to the facts, and then check those facts. Be a journalist yourself, like my man Sam Whitfield, Sam Whitfield over there in Rumble. Check it out yourself, okay? Because it's a shame to say, but you can't trust everything you see and hear on the news. You can't. You've got to, go through it with a fine-tooth comb and see what's up with it. Martin says, propaganda-induced hate starts with chasing views and ratings and money. Say that again. Propaganda-induced hate starts with chasing views and ratings and money. And then it becomes self-sustained and looks for an outlet in the real world. Yep, I'll buy that. That sounds right. Of course, Martin knows a lot about that. He fled a communist country, so he knows exactly all about how the media is used to make people want to do certain things. So, yeah. I'll be lurking while cooking, he says. Well, very good, sir. Very good. Let's check in on these games one more time and see what's going on with it, boys and girls. Shall we? Let's take a look at this. Oh, I see a Seahawk in the foreground. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, man. Seahawks won big. Looks like all the games are over with. Sunday Night Football is going to start at 7:20. We got Detroit at Baltimore tomorrow night. Let's take a look at the late games for you. Wow. Broncos couldn't do it. They couldn't hold off the Chargers. Wow. I wonder if that was overtime or what. No, they won it in regulation. Okay. Let's check out. Where's the other ones? Of course, my boys beat the hell out of the Saints. Sorry, Dan. I love you. But couldn't do it. And, yeah, I was the only guy that picked San Francisco today. Told you. Well-coached football team in San Francisco. Well-coached. No doubt. Yep. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to love this one. I don't particularly love it because I have no love for either team, but I do have love for Dak Prescott because he's from this area of the world. He's from Houghton High School, and he comes home quite a bit to see his mom, and he's a great guy, and yeah, he doesn't deserve what Jerry Jones is doing to that team. And I guess Caleb Williams all of a sudden decided he wanted to learn how to play football and started learning, I guess. I don't know. But that's your late games. Mine was never in doubt. They had 21 points in the first quarter. It was horrible. We had a guy named Horton. I said, Horton, here's a who, because he had the longest punt return in Seahawks history happened today against the Saints. So, yeah, my team did well. Let's see. What are they saying here? Jason says, how do you feel about WWE and the Saudi deal? Oh, my friend, you heard me in your chat on Thursday night, didn't you? You heard me. You remember what I said. I'll tell you how I feel about it. Let's see. Real Ed Nation says, of course the Chargers won. I picked them, but, anybody could have won that game. It's a division game. So, I mean, everybody picked Atlanta today, I'm sure. And I don't know if Atlanta scored a point. Where is the Atlanta-Carolina game? They did not score a point, boys and girls. Everybody on my panel this morning. By the way, I'm sorry about this morning. This platform I'm using now is kind of goofy, and sometimes it screws up, and it chooses Sunday morning for some reason. But, the Falcons did not score a point. They went toe-to-toe with the Buccaneers on opening day. And they won last week, too. But, man, wow. The Carolina Panthers defense shut this team down. It was crazy. Let's see. Oh, I did hear you, Jason says. Yeah, I'll get back to that in just a second, Jason. Because, yes, I do want to talk about that. But let me wrap the NFL. Yeah, everybody picked Atlanta today, and boom. Carolina says, no, we are professionals. That's the thing. These guys, any team can beat any other team in the NFL. The last place where the talent level is kind of lopsided sometimes is in college football. That's why you get a lot of blowouts in college football, right? But the NFL, not so much. It's all coaching. And because most of these guys, unless you've got a freak athlete like a Saquon Barkley, right? Or somebody like that, or a Patrick Mahomes. Unless you've got a guy like that, it's mostly coaching. Most of these guys are pretty much the fastest humans on the planet when it comes to playing this game. And they need to know the details of what they're doing to do something a little bit better than their compatriots, because they're all on the same level. And it's obvious today that the Carolina Panthers had a game plan for going in and crushing the Falcons. Okay, so when it comes to the WWE, I'll tell you, Jason, what I'm going to do, and what he's talking about is, he says, how do you feel about WWE and the Saudi deal? Okay, if you don't know the history of the WWE, recently Vince McMahon's not in charge anymore. He's trying to weasel his way back in, but they're not letting him. But Paul Levesque is running things now for the WWE. And they just made a deal with ESPN to put all their pay-per-views on there. At the same time, they decided to put WrestleMania. And let's be clear, professional wrestling is an American made phenomenon. It started in America. Yes, Japan has great wrestling. England has some decent wrestling. There's other countries that do it, but the best wrestling happens right here in the United States. It just does. And when it's done right, it's the best storytelling medium there is. It really is. It's basically, if you love comic books, it's going to be hard for you to find somebody that likes comic books and doesn't like wrestling, because it's the same thing. It's black hats and white hats. It's bad guys versus good guys. And they have decided to go and put a purely American phenomenon, WrestleMania, something that Vince McMahon, I talk a lot of shit about Vince McMahon. He's an evil son of a bitch. No doubt. Okay? I don't think anything bad should happen to him. Let's be clear. I'm not dehumanizing Vince, because I will give him credit. He created something that is the showcase of the Immortals. It has that nickname for a reason. It is one of the best shows you'll ever see. People will pay thousands of dollars to go see this thing live, because it is such a huge deal. Let's see. Real Wade says, Joe, I dropped the video in your promo. Okay. The video. I don't know what video he's talking about, but I'll check it out while I finish the story. He's taking something that is purely American, and he's going to take it to Saudi Arabia. The reason? Money. Money. The Saudis are going to pay him a ransom to go there and do it. Now, let's be clear. The wrestlers are going to make some good money off of it too. Okay? The corporation, I think they're still owned by TKO. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, but I think TKO still owns them. They're going to make a bunch of bread. A bunch of money. Millions and millions of dollars. That's why they're doing it. Now, are the wrestlers going to enjoy it? No. Are we going to get the best wrestling we can get? No. Because that place is as hot as hell every time. Every time. Jason says, yes, they still do. That's what I thought. They sold out to TKO I want to say 2 years ago, I think. But anyway, the wrestlers do not like going there. First of all, the women have to be dressed from their necks all the way down to their feet. They have to have clothing covering them all the way down. It's not the sexiness you see in the regular stuff. AJ Lee will not be in her hot pants and her halter top. She won't. Okay? She'll have her Chuck Taylors. Don't worry about that. But they'll be on top of a pair of yoga pants and some kind of tight top. Okay? She's going to be covered head to toe. And it's hot. Let me repeat. It's hot as hell there. Even at night. Okay? Which is when this is held. They will not enjoy wrestling there. Let's see. The male wrestlers will, but the women will be overlooked. No, they won't be overlooked. They'll. Here's the thing with the damn Saudi Arabian show, man. The thing I always point out is, the women's matches will be shorter. Yeah, they gotta make them shorter, don't they, babe? That, by the way, the Rule of Fox, that is my babe right there. Yeah, they gotta make them shorter because they're gonna be sweating to death in that friggin' those spandex tops they're gonna have to wear and everything. But what I was getting at, and the thing I always bring up is the Undertaker versus the guy that did the jackhammer, Goldberg. If you remember that match in Saudi Arabia a couple of years back, those two were sweating so bad that the friggin' Undertaker, yes, no more buffering, says Ruben Christian Hayes. Yeah, I don't know what was up this morning. I was telling the guys about that just now. And don't worry, I'll put up our shows. I have them on recorded. I'll put them up. I just didn't feel like putting them up today because if people wanted news about the NFL or what our picks were, they're not going to want it during the games. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you, Ruben, for being here, man. Appreciate you. But that match between The Undertaker and Goldberg, he almost broke... the timing was so off that he almost broke Goldberg's neck doing a pile driver. You know, the tombstone pile driver he does. It was partially Goldberg's fault because Goldberg doesn't do matches more than 60 seconds. Okay, so... yeah, and he didn't tuck his chin correctly. So he basically dumped on his head. And he was pissed off about it afterwards. It was well-known fact. Anybody that follows wrestling, Wrestling Observer reported on it, and several other outlets, that The Undertaker was upset after that match because he did not want to look bad. As a matter of fact, he was considering his retirement match. He was not going to do it again. And I think he did one more match after that one because he didn't want to go out on that note. It was just so horrible. Yeah, he was pissed. And it was because of how hot it was. They do it outside, and it's not an air-conditioned venue. It's just, yeah, those guys don't like going there. They don't. But the Saudi Sports Authority, they will pay all kinds of money to have these guys show up. And they want the top acts, too. That's part of the reason why they're throwing millions at WrestleMania, because they know they're going to get the best people. Now, last night, you had your first ESPN pay-per-view. Now, boys and girls, I've got nothing against gambling. We don't do it in my house for obvious reasons. But, what I don't want is when people are reporting on sports. I quit watching ESPN almost a decade ago because all they care about now is betting lines. And I remember the last time I watched ESPN, it was after a Monday Night Football game. And I know his first name's Scott, but I don't know his last name. He's the ESPN anchor for late night, right? And he had an entire bit called Bad Beats. And all this part of the show was how teams screwed up the betting line. Scott Van Pelt. There it is. Thank you very much, Real Wade. I know you're a sports enthusiast. I knew somebody in the chat would know what it was. Yeah, Scott Van Pelt. He's got a logo that looks like a headset on a bald guy. Yeah. Nothing against him. It's the people that run the place that do this, okay? Because they have an ESPN bet platform now, okay? So they're constantly giving you money lines, point spreads, and stuff like that. So all I do is, and this segment I was watching, it was about how these teams had screwed up the point spread. If they'd have done things correctly, the point spread would have been right. But they screwed up the point spreads. These are the guys that screwed up your bet. That was a sports story. And I'm sorry, I just, I enjoy football quite a bit. I think I've detailed this before, but for those that don't know, I got big quick in life. At the age of 8, I was bigger than everybody else, and when I played Pee-wee football, I was an offensive and defensive lineman. My brother will tell you to this day that my favorite move is the clothesline. I almost put a kid in the hospital, sacking him with my bicep one day. I just put my bicep right in his throat. But it was a good experience. I enjoyed the hell out of playing organized football. Now, when I got to be 9, 10, I stopped being taller and didn't gain any weight, right? So by the time I joined the Army, I was almost 6 feet tall and I was 125 pounds. Okay, I've always been a stick guy. See this? Yeah, this is not the arm of a guy that works out. No. I don't do that. But I love the game of football because, to me, it's the truest team sport. It's been proven that there's certain guys, like Michael Jordan. He was going to win championships. He was that good, Wayne Gretzky, everybody knew he was going to win a championship eventually. He scored too much, He was going to drag a team, there and win it one day. It's been proven that if you have a great pitcher, you're going to win a ball game because nobody's going to hit him. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. But when it comes to football, John Elway carried the Denver Broncos on his back with a good defense 3 times and couldn't win a game. But until they put the team around him, until he had a running back in Terrell Davis, he didn't win. Then he won 2 in a row once he got a running game. My favorite one was the second one against the Falcons, because the Falcons came in and said, okay, we're playing with house money. We shouldn't be here. So we're going to shut down TD. And he said, okay, this 37-year-old man will throw for damn near 400 yards and 4 touchdowns and kiss my butt. I retire. Peace. But that's the thing. Organized football. Joe was in the mafia. No. It is not this thing we have. No, it's not that. But what's funny about that experience is this. I actually got to give my daughter some advice about her son recently. And I'll tell you that story in a second. I want to finish what Jason brought up, though. I got off on a tangent with ESPN. Every time I hear ESPN, I have to tell people why I don't like them, okay? And it's kind of like Jed with Disney. It's a hot button thing with me. I have not paid for ESPN in a while. And when it comes to WWE, they have a new deal with them. It used to be pay-per-views. Now they call them premium live events, PLEs. All their PLEs are going to be on ESPN, and they had the first one last night. I believe it was in Indianapolis, and it was called WrestlePalooza. Now they're trying to make this bigger than WrestleMania, because they're shipping WrestleMania to another country. And this is the first one they've done with ESPN. So they tried to make it a big deal, but you know what? I can almost guarantee you people had a hard time getting that last night if they didn't have ESPN. And I guarantee you when they found out they were going to have to pay $30, $30 to watch it on the ESPN app, I guarantee you half the people that looked it up said, nah, I'm not, when we've been paying $10 a month, on Netflix or whoever did it, whoever was doing it, Peacock, before that was it was the WWE network, right? We were paying $10, $15 to see these things. And now they're going to double it, and I'm going to have to do that for every fucking show. Guess what? You better trim down how many friggin' PLEs you do, folks, because they're not going to buy them. They're just not going to do it. Okay? They're going to do like I did. You know what I did? Last night after it was over, I looked at the clips on YouTube. That's what I did. I watched my girl, AJ Lee, against my girl, Becky Lynch, and their husbands going at it. The only guy in that match I didn't like is CM Punk. First of all, I'm jealous of CM Punk. And I never watched him. I know a lot of people love him. He's great on the mic. He's a great wrestler. Don't get me wrong. I don't like his attitude. He acts like he's oh, God, how do I say this? Guys like him and Bret Hart, best that ever was, blah, blah, blah. Hulk Hogan, I'm just not into those guys. I was a Macho Man guy. I was a Jake the Snake guy. I like guys with character. I like guys with characters. They're not telling you they're the best. About the only guy that thinks they're the best is Ric Flair. And I'll buy that one because he's the one that got me into wrestling. I saw a magazine with him and Harley Race going at it for the NWA championship, the 10 pounds of gold, way back in the day. Because back in the day, we didn't have the internet, so you had to read about it in the magazine if you weren't watching the studio show of your regional wrestling. Back when I was a kid, it was regional wrestling. We had Mid-South Wrestling here. And they were at the Municipal Auditorium taping shows. Used to love to go see those shows. They were great. Let's see what else we got here. Kelly Chow says, fuck the Panthers, fuck the Bears. Well, I wouldn't say fuck the Panthers myself. I can understand it, if you're a real hater of the Panthers. But what they did today was impressive. Nobody gave them a chance to beat Atlanta, and they didn't let Atlanta score a point. The Bears, I'm with you on that one. I could care less about the Bears. Really not a Chicago Bears fan. Arabelle says, too full of themselves. Yes, exactly. I don't like that. The only one I really liked like that was Ric Flair, because he walked that walk. These other guys, you know, they weren't over the top like Rick was. And I can't believe Rick's still alive, and he wrestled so late in life. I mean, he wrestled a few years ago and fell asleep during a match. I mean, it was scary. Boys and girls, please, if anybody, decides to put Ric Flair in the ring again, don't go see it. Make him stop. The movie The Wrestler, I really think, was about Ric Flair. I mean, he just won't quit, man. Let's see. Killy Chow says Seth Rollins is happy that the Bears won. Of course he is. He's a big Bears fan. He's a big Bears fan. He's from Illinois. Yeah, absolutely. He's got a wrestling school there. I love Seth Rollins. I do. Here's my problem with Seth Rollins. He is a yes man. He will do whatever the guy in charge. It was Vince before, and now it's Triple H. He will do whatever they say. And now that Becky is married to him, she's the same way. His character is so goofy. It is so dumb. I really wish he'd go back to being the architect. That was the best Seth Rollins we ever got. The Paul Levesque Jr., the guy that joined Evolution and screwed over the Shield. That was the best Seth Rollins. The guy that would mess with your head. He needs to go back to that. You know what I'm saying? Jason says, agreed. Yes. I know you. I know what you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I'm going back to the days of when I was a kid watching Raw on Netflix. I will see everything that happened this Friday, because they'll all be bitching about it in the ring. Oh, you beat me, but I'm going to get you back, blah, 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 blah. I'm looking forward to AJ Lee and Becky Lynch going at it, because AJ Lee is my favorite female wrestler of all time, and Becky Lynch is my favorite current wrestler. Okay, I'm Irish. I'm half Irish. My mother's Irish, so I love the Last Kicker. I love her to death. So, looking forward to that match, because it's coming, boys and girls. It's coming, and I can't wait. I'm so glad that AJ Lee's back. I had to watch that on YouTube as soon as it happened. That kind of thing. Let's see. Ariel says, do you have a problem with John Cena then, since he was basically a yes man? Cena's not my favorite guy in the entire world. I'm kind of glad that Brock Lesnar beat the shit out of him. I watched the highlights of that too. It wasn't as bad as the 16 German suplexes he gave him the first time they went at it, but John is good at what he does. He's like CM Punk to me. He's a guy that's good at what he does, and he's gonna do well for himself. He's got a TV show in Peacemaker, which I think has gone off the rails personally, but no, I'm not a huge fan of his. Now, my buddy Dallas, my best friend in the world, he is the biggest Cena fan on the planet. Let's take a minute to toast the upcoming work week and whatever else you'd like to toast, whether it be Charlie Kirk, whatever. In Keely Chow's case, toast the demise of the Panthers and the demise of the Chicago Bears, because neither one of them are going anywhere. So anyway, you guys pour it up and let's do it up for the second hour of the show. Cheers, boys and girls. Woohoo! Foxy's fixing spaghetti for dinner tonight. Can't wait. It's gonna be good. Let's see. Wolverine said, "Yep, yeah." See, I'll tell you the guys I like, Ariel. They're more characters. They're my favorite guys growing up were Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah. You better show me some respect. RESPCT right now. Or I'll turn you into a belt buckle. Because the cream always rises to the top. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's see. I always like to hear Jay Lethal imitate him, too. That's freaking awesome. Errol says, so you want Rollins to be from one yes man to another yes man because he was a yes man when working for the Authority? No. I want him to go back to being the architect. That's what I want him to do. You know? He was great when he was with the Shield. And everybody, it was really great the way they did that, the breakup of the Shield, because they made it look like it was going to be Ambrose that busted him up. If you remember, you know, because they had the Shield Summit and everything, you know, but it ended up being Seth that did it, you know. No, I that's what I don't like is the yes man. I don't like that. I want to see him go back. I want to see him put a crew together again. I want to see him just dominate the friggin' WWE. That would be awesome. But it's hard for me to take you seriously, unless you're Ric Flair once again, when you come out with feather boas and shit. I just can't. I never could take Hulk Hogan seriously when he did it. I just couldn't do it, you know. Let's see. My baby says, I'm wearing my Dean Ambrose shirt right now. Yeah, man. Frickin' Dean Ambrose. Look, if you don't know, he's still wrestling in AEW, and he's either got the belt or he's fighting for the belt. They put it every time they transition, they put the belt on him because they know everybody loves him. Dean Ambrose is great, man. About the only thing I wish he didn't do was the hardcore matches, and that's part of his allure, though. That's part of why people like him. Foxy says my dog is named after him. Yeah, his name is Daryl Ambrose. Daryl for Daryl Dixon of The Walking Dead. She's one of those if Daryl dies, we riot girls. And Dean Ambrose. That's his last name, Dean Ambrose. Let's see. Martin says, I'm still cooking, but I had to get to the keyboard to say, Bonesaw is ready. That's right, man. I freaked out when I saw the Macho Man was the wrestler that Peter Parker was going to go up against in the first big-time Spider-Man movie. I flipped out. I was like, wow, this is the greatest. You know? Let's see. Keeley says, TKO on having Brock Lesnar destroy John Cena. Fuck them kids. If you don't know what he's saying. Oh, shit. Keeley, that is awesome. If you guys don't know, John Cena has set the record for the more Make-A-Wish things for kids with cancer than anybody. And the second is Roman Reigns, and he's trying to catch Cena. But Cena has done more than any of them. What he's talking about here is TKO made him a bad guy for his last run in the WWE. They had him screw over, Cody Rhodes and shit. Yeah. Which is what people had been clamoring for that for years. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Fuck them. That is too great, Keely. It really is. Let's see. Ariel says, Jake Roberts was always over even though he never had a belt. Yes, absolutely. He was always over. For sure. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to double click on that one. But yes, Jake, his story is both sad and uplifting in the end because he's one of these guys that turned into a big addict, man. There was one night in a regional outfit. I mean, because no big net label would take him when he was getting older because everybody knew he was screwed up on cocaine and all kinds of stuff. He was still living the 80s life in the 90s and the 2000s, man. It really bad for him. But I'll have to look up. Let me look up real quick what the documentary name is. It used to be on Netflix. I don't know if it still is. Hang on. Let me pull up IMDb. They had a great documentary about him, and Scott Hall was there too. But it has to do with Diamond Dallas Page. Diamond Dallas Page taking him in. And basically, Diamond Dallas Page runs a rehab out of his own home. Okay? And he'll take you in, and he'll dry you out and that kind of thing. And he'll teach you his, DDP yoga is a big thing now. Diamond Dallas Page is a sweetheart of a dude. And I loved it when they put him in the Hall of Fame. That's another guy, like Jake, that hardly ever had a belt, but over as could be, right? Let's see. What was the name of that Jake the Snake? Jake Roberts. Okay, there he is right there. The Resurrection of Jake Roberts is the name of it. Let me see if I can grab the title. I don't know if I can. Pause this. I can't show it because it would. The Resurrection of Jake the Snake. Hang on. I don't even know if I'm spelling this right. Resurrection of Jake Roberts. There it is right there. Resurrection of Jake the Snake. There it is right there. I highly recommend this documentary. Came out in 2015. Oh, look at the Macho Man! No! Don't do it to the Macho Man! Him and Macho Man went round and round, man. They really did. Fallen professional wrestling superstar battles his past demons in a struggle to reclaim his life and the family that has given up on him. Yeah, he was alone. I mean, he was so messed up. But where's Diamond Dallas Page? I know he's in here. There he is, right there. Yeah, that hit. Scott Hall, Jake Roberts, and a whole lot of others owe a lot to that guy right there because he brought him back from the brink. You remember when Jake was put in the Hall of Fame a couple of years ago? Wouldn't have happened without Diamond Dallas Page. Would not have happened. That is right there where he's fallen down. He's messed up. He can't even friggin' finish the match. He was so coked up. It looked the huge belly and everything. Yeah, go watch that show. If you like Jake the Snake Roberts, if you haven't seen that, you're missing out, man. You're missing out. It's a bittersweet story. Of course, every story of every addict is. But, man, that guy was broken. And Diamond Dallas Page brought him back, man. He did. Let's see. But should have been healed during a normal run, not past his prime like Dwayne Johnson. Yeah, for sure. They should have done it earlier in his career. You're absolutely right. Wade, she's talking about Cena. That's who she's talking about. Either Dark Side of the Ring. No. I haven't seen the Dark Side of the Ring episode of him. I've seen this documentary, and let me see if it's still on Netflix. Right now, it's on Amazon Prime. And by the way, if you guys don't know this, right here it says +4. Let's take a look. They will tell you where you can watch it at. You can watch it on Pluto TV. You can watch it on Prime. Fawsome. I've downloaded this app. It's pretty cool. It's another one like Tubi that's got commercials. So does Pluto, but it's free. Doesn't cost you shit. It's included with Prime if you have that. It's on Roku TV. You can check it out at all those places right there. And you see it's rated 7.8 out of 10. It's an extremely good documentary, really, because Jake really messed himself up. He was living the life way longer than he should have. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know that's another documentary. I've watched Dark Side of the Ring. Remember, I used to be on Dork Side of the Ring with Danny Ballard over on Pop Culture Minefield. Remember? I don't know. You may not remember that, Ariel. It was when I first started YouTubing. I want to say about 4 years ago. Me and Danny did that. Martin's in the chat. What was that? We quit doing that about 3 years ago, right, Martin? I think. And Gary's tried to get me to do another wrestling show. Here's the problem. To really do a wrestling show right, you have to bathe yourself in wrestling only. And I'm just not one of those guys that's going to half-ass it. I'm not going to sit here and just watch the WWE, okay? Because I keep track of all of them. I keep track of what's going on in the WWE. I keep track of what's going on in AEW. I keep track of TNA. I keep track of MLW. Yes, MLW sucks. I know it sucks, but you know what? I really would love to see Hammerstone in another friggin' organization. Fatu was there with Contra for a long time. MJF got his start in MLW. There are good guys there. The last place that Jim Cornette worked was MLW. You can discount MLW all you want. It's had good people there. And there are still good people there. Yeah, it's as far as production value, yeah, it sucks. But you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the old regional studio days. That's what it reminds me of. So, I like checking out where these guys come from. NXT, yeah, that's the minor leagues of WWE. We know that. But there's an entire network of, Memphis has got a small unit wrestling. They've got, Hollywood's got another one out there. Check in on them, man. We interviewed a girl it's not Ohio Valley, but it's up around the Cincinnati area where she lives. There's a wrestling organization, and what a sweetheart. I wish Martin was in the chat with us. He said he was cooking, but this girl named Nikki Victory, and actually, I don't even know if she's wrestling anymore because I checked in on her the other day and I haven't seen anything new in about a year. So she may have either gotten pregnant and quit, or I don't know. I don't know what she's doing now. But Martin says, just back. Yeah, I was telling him, how we did a show a few years back with wrestling. And that's why I'm hesitant to get into a wrestling show, because I'm gonna want to get into all of it, and I've got too many irons in the fire as it is. I've got the comic book I'm working on. I've got a 40-hour-a-week job. I'm taking care of my mom, and some of it's suffering. The comic book's suffering. You know what I mean? I've got things I got to do around this house, and it's some of it's getting left by the wayside. And it's just, I don't have enough hours in a day in a good way. I would love to do a wrestling show. When I retire and I have those 40 hours a week, maybe I'll do a wrestling show then. But I'm the kind of guy that if I'm going to do something, I'm going to go all in on it, right? It's easy for me to do an NFL show because I watch the NFL. I'm a huge fan, watch it all the time. I watch every game. But let's go back in here and see what you're talking about there in the chat. Let's see. And yet, WWE fumbled Diamond Dallas Page's WWE run. Well, yeah, he was much better in WCW. WWE fumbled with a lot of former WCW wrestlers. Yes! Yes! Because Vince wanted to make them look bad. That's all there is to it. That's the kind of idiot that guy is. You could print money, but no, he'd rather piss people off. It's ridiculous. Jason has sent some more emojis. I don't really know what they are. John Cena did follow me. That's a joke. by the way, he knows for a fact that John Cena follows anybody that comments on his shit. John Cena's just that kind of guy. Ooh, gotta follow him. Gotta follow him. So they keep following me. Man, Jason, did you ever watch Total Divas? That guy is so strange. He's OCD as hell. That guy right there. Woof. And what is with these crazy ass plaid suits he wears? What is with that? I just don't get it, man. Wow. That's crazy. Let's see. John Cena did follow me on the X. Yes, he did. And I'm so proud that he did. YouTube is homosexual? Don't let me comment through, so had to do it this way. Really? Okay. Sorry, man. I hate to hear you're being censored. That sucks. But that's YouTube for you. Hang on, let me check Rumble real quick. Oh, God. Is my man over there chewing my butt? Is he over there chewing my butt? Where? I know I've got the Rumble chat. Where is it? No, nobody's over. Nobody's talking on Rumble. Okay. Let me see. Have you watched the 80s cartoon Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling? It's on WWE's WWE Vault channel. No, I have not watched the Keely Chow. I don't watch too many animated shows, except for the ones I watched as a kid. I really don't. I've had people tell me forever to watch the DC stuff. If I was going to start with any of that, I'd probably watch the Batman animated series because I've heard that's the best. So, let's see. Real Wade says, I was there, probably talking about the interview when we did Nikki Victory. Keely Chow says, AEW is also unintentionally WWE's minor league because there are some ex-AEW talent who are being all elite in WWE. Well, it's vice versa, right? Their main guy is an ex-WWE guy. Few of their main guys are, you know? I mean, yeah. You got Christian. You got Christian and Edge are over there. You got Dean Ambrose. You got God, there's a bunch of them. What's her name? Monet. Used to be Sasha Banks. She's over there. But there's a bunch of guys in. And look, MJF's going to be in the WWE eventually. You watch. He's going to be over there. And here's the thing. Without Vince there, he might have a decent run. The last guy I've seen come in there from outside, from another operation, was LA Knight. I knew him in NWA as Eli Drake, not L.A. Knight. And I always thought that guy could be a headliner in WWE, and he has not proven me wrong. He is really good. I enjoy him. Let's see. I always tell him he sucks. Okay. Who are we talking about there? I'm a little bit backed up in the chat. I'm trying to catch up. Let me know in there who we were talking about. Let's see. Ariel says, I did like when John Cena commented on a British show about their food. Yeah, man. He tries to be an all-around... he tries to be the everybody guy. He does try to do that. And I'll give him that. But you remember when he was kissing Chyna's butt when you know, that was crazy. You don't need to do that. Don't apologize. Just do your thing. Yes, Batman animated, Superman animated, and Batman Beyond. You will not regret it. Yes, Martin. And I will. When I retire, it's on my list. Worry not. Ariel says, as well as 4 seasons of Justice League. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, Mercedes Monet. Yeah, she's over in the AEW. That's the old Sasha Banks. Look, AEW, if there's one thing they don't know how to handle, that's female wrestling. Game just kicked off, Royal Fox says. Give us a scoring update. We'll be out of here in a half an hour. I'll be in there to watch it. Cena. Yeah. Okay. I got you, man. Yeah. I got you. Yeah. I always tell him he sucks. Well, that's the thing, right? Let's go Cena. Cena sucks. So Jason's on the Cena sucks side, right? Yeah. I'm kind of on the Cena sucks side too. But I recognize, look, a lot of people were torn. Should he break Ric Flair's record? Or should they keep it with Rick? Records are made to be broken. If this guy's got more in the tank, let him do it, man. Let him do it. You know? He's had that kind of run. You can say whatever you want about John Cena. He's not my favorite in the world, but I respect the work. That guy is phenomenal. He knows how to tell a story in the ring. You know when he won me over as a fan? Late in his career, I always thought he was a punk, right? With a mouth. I mean, he's kind of the Merc with a mouth in the WWE, isn't he? You know, he's really good on the mic, man. He can tear anybody down. His promo against Roman Reigns when he had to wrestle him, saying, I had to come back because you can't do the job. Oh, my God. It was awesome. It was fantastic. And the good thing about John is he likes to take truth and throw it into his promo in the kayfabe promo. That way it makes it kind of believable, doesn't it? You know what I mean? He didn't mean any of that shit he was saying to Roman Reigns. He's good friends with Roman Reigns. Right? But there's been rumors that he holds talent down, you know, to make himself look good. We've heard that over the years, right? But Cena, you say what you want about him, but man, he won me over when Seth and him were wrestling. I don't know which one of them slipped up, but he did that flying knee he does, and he put John Cena's nose all the way over on, let me see, the pictures, yeah, it was over here. It was on the right side of his face. His nose was over here, okay? That's where it was. And John Cena kept going for 6 minutes. I think it was 4 to 6 minutes. Kept going. Blood flowing out of his face. Kept going. Now that wrestling fans appreciate that. Okay? They screwed up. And I've heard Cena or not Cena, but Seth Rollins in interviews praise the man. And every time it gets brought up in interviews that I've heard him in, he apologizes to John over and over again. And he says that John didn't get mad at him. You know, he really didn't get mad at him. He was so apologetic. He felt so bad about breaking his nose, you know. But that right there won me over. I said, this guy, yeah, he's a pro. You know, something bad happened and he keeps going. You know, that's awesome. And I always bring up that one for people that think that wrestling's fake. You know, I always tell them, no, it's not faked. When I hear that word, because when you say fake, you're talking AI art, you're talking, you know, silicone chesties, you know, that kind of thing. No, it's not fake. It is scripted. There's a difference. They know what the outcome is going in. But what they're doing is a violent dance. And if you don't trust your partner, somebody's going to get hurt. I mean, the stories are out there all over the place. CM Punk, if you listen to his interview after he left the WWE, I think it was on I know it was on a Thanksgiving because I was driving to my mom's. It was the Wednesday before Thanksgiving that one went on because I was driving to my mother's for Thanksgiving one year and heard that interview. And, you know, the doctor screwed it all up with CM Punk. You know what I mean? Oh, God, what was the guy's name? Mick Foley had his tooth go right through his face, you know? But that's just craziness. They were doing crazy shit back then. But just saying, if you don't trust your partner, they do great stuff. Sometimes some of the moves they do, anything they do on the apron, I just cringe every time they do it because that's the hardest part of the ring. There's almost no buffering there at all. And when they DDT people there or drop them on their backs and stuff like that, I'm like, oh, God, please don't do that again. You know? I don't know if you saw this this video of that dude that jumped in the ring and beat the shit out of a wrestler. He was a civilian that got disrespected backstage by one of the wrestlers. Let me tell you something. You go backstage with a bunch of wrestlers, you better expect to have some stupid shit happen to you. But this guy didn't like it at all. And he went in during a match, and I think they had agreed this guy was going to do it anyway, but he was just supposed to go in there and you know, pull his punches like the rest of the wrestlers do and do it, right? Nah. He went in there, he fucking Alabama slammed the guy the hard way. Knocked him damn near unconscious and then beat the shit out of him in the middle of the ring. Put him in the hospital. And this guy's not a wrestler. He's the son of an MMA fighter. You guys know the story I'm talking about, I'm sure. But, oh my God. And the guy's a veteran, right? I mean, I couldn't believe that happened to him. But I say all that, yeah, Roger Jackson. That's it. Thank you very, very much, Wolverine. I appreciate you. Roger Jackson. Rampage Jackson, I think, is his dad's in-ring name. Yeah, he was finally arrested for that yesterday. I did see that story. Yes. That's what can happen when they don't do it. But you can see in wrestling matches, these guys, when they do it right, when you see two guys like an AJ Styles and a Seth Rollins have a match together and they beat the shit out of each other, it looks just horrific sometimes, but they really are respecting each other. It's a dance. They know how to not hurt each other, and dude, it's awesome to see. The guy in wrestling right now, well, he's back in wrestling now, Brock Lesnar. I've seen that guy, and look, you can say what you want about Brock Lesnar. You can hate him all you want, and that kind of thing. My wife can't stand him. Hates him because he's not an everyday wrestler. He doesn't wrestle every week to week to week. He's only a pay-per-view guy, right? And I keep telling her, don't hate the player, hate the game. Because the game, the guy that's running things now, is only going to put him in pay-per-views, just like Vince did. Because they know that's the draw. That the beast incarnate is the draw. Right? So he's never going to sign a contract where he has to wrestle on SmackDown or Raw. It's always going to be in a big venue, right? And you guys can hate on him all you want, but I want you to go watch the match between him and Roman Reigns. I think it was WrestleMania 41. I think it was the year after WrestleMania in New Orleans. Can't remember where it was. But it was Roman Reigns against Brock Lesnar for the fucking WWE Championship, and Brock Lesnar was beating the shit out of Roman Reigns. Just fucking beating him to death. And Roman, outside the ring, slipped him and sent him into a ring post. And I don't know if they call it blading when they cut themselves to bleed, okay? And I don't know if that's what he did, or if he actually busted his head open and he didn't expect it to. But my God, Brock Lesnar sold that so well the rest of the match. I mean, it was unfucking believable. Roman Reigns had a comeback, you know. And I love Roman Reigns, guys. He's my favorite wrestler going today. All time, Macho Man. Going today, I love Roman Reigns. When I picked up wrestling again back in 2014, I said, that's my guy. I watched him in a tag match. Him and Dean Ambrose were having a tag match. They were the tag team champs at the time, I think. And, yeah, I fell in love with him watching one match. I was like, that's my guy. Because I knew he played football for Georgia Tech, and I love my football guys. But anyway, go watch that match. Brock Lesnar is one of the best in-ring storytellers ever. Now, he needs a Paul Heyman to tell the stories, because he's kind of got the Mike Tyson thing. He's a monster, but his voice doesn't match his body. So, you know, that's why I usually had Brock usually had Heyman in front of him, you know, somebody to do the talking for him. But he sells, man. He sells. When he's supposed to be hurt, he sells. Now, that's the famous match where Seth Rollins cashed in at WrestleMania. Became the first man to do it and win it all, right? Because those two guys were laying in the ring, beat the fuck up because they had just practically murdered each other, you know? God, this became a wrestling show, didn't it? My gosh, let's see. Let's see. What do we got here in the chat? He was arrested. I got a really bad wedgie once from wrestling too hard. E. Clay Thomas says, well, yeah, that's one of the side effects of wrestling too hard. We know that. Royal Fax says, then he should not hold a title. That's the thing. You want the bad guy to piss you off, Rhonda. Okay? And when the bad guy's got the title, he's supposed to piss you off. They did their job correctly. If he is not going to be there for the fans, he is there for the fans. He's there all the time. He just doesn't wrestle. He'll go in there and talk shit. He'll go in there and house somebody when they're not looking. That's his job. He's a bad guy. That's what he's supposed to do. Let's see. Ariel says, but fuck me, another match to watch is Brock Lesnar versus Test from SummerSlam or Survivor Series. Test. I don't know who Test is. Oh, it was a King of the Ring. Okay. Let me see if I can figure out who she's talking about. Love Roman Reigns. Yeah, I love him too. I think a lot of people, he was not, as a baby face, they shoved him down our throats, and everybody, even I, was like, you guys are doing this all wrong. You're messing things up. You're not selling him right. You know? He should have had to work a little bit more for what he got. They just made him the face way too soon. And the leukemia thing flaring back up, that really humanized him in a lot of people's eyes. They didn't really care about, whether Vince was shoving him down her throat or anything like that. They just wanted to see him get better. And when he came back, people rooted for him, Let's see. Ariel says, oh my God, Joe, you haven't watched it. Watch it. They had at each other. It was when Lesnar was first coming into wrestling. Who is Test, though? Don't think I've ever heard of Test. Did you spell it right? If you did, let me know, and I'll look him up real quick. And I will definitely watch it. Definitely watch it. I didn't watch wrestling for a long time. Look, guys, when Hulk Hogan got the shit beat out of him by Macho Man Randy Savage, she says, yes. Okay. All right. I'll look it up, babe. I'll look it up for sure. I'm always looking for good matches from the past. Yes, I will definitely check that out. But, oh God, I lost my train of thought. What was I just talking about? Oh shit. Anyway, Errol, you effectively derailed me. Let's see. Oh yeah, Roman. When he came back from leukemia, everybody rooted for him. But the best decision they ever made was making him a bad guy, because he's one of them dudes. He's laughing at me. Laugh. Yeah, he's one of those guys that if he's the bad guy, how do I say this? If you meet these bad guy wrestlers in person, most of them are the nicest guys you'll ever frickin' meet. You know what I mean? I met Ted DiBiase once. He let me hold the $1 million belt. I've got a picture of it somewhere. I got a signature over on the wall over here. But sweetest guy in the world. Devout Christian. But boy, he was an asshole in the ring. Ted DiBiase was mean. But every guy, and for instance, one person that Rhonda couldn't stand. Royal Fox could not stand, what is that guy's name? KO, Kevin Owens. She couldn't stand him. And I told her, I said, I guarantee you he's the nicest guy in the world. And then she saw a behind-the-scene thing with his kid and everything, how his kid is a big John Cena fan and all this shit. And how nice he is to everybody and stuff. She's like, oh, man, now I got to root for him. I was like, no, you don't. Just, hate the character. But, that kind of thing. Let's see. E. Clay Thomas says, what was the big NFL news? Did I miss it? By the way, congrats to the Seahawks today. They crushed it hard. It's not hard to beat up on Parkway High School. The Saints are a bad team this year, man. They are a bad team. They did crush it hard in front of their fans. I'll give it to them. But, yeah, that didn't look like it took too much effort. They beat the poop out of them. It was ridiculous. The not big NFL news. It's just NFL news. When I came on, it was 6 o'clock, and I let everybody know about the games. I just put some subjects out there for us to talk about. Errol says, well, Roman Reigns was basically Rocky Maivia before he became The Rock. Saw a lot of parallel between the two starting, and Maivia being pushed down fans' throats was a babyface. Yeah, I do remember that about The Rock. See, that's, once again, Ariel, there was a window there, I'm telling you, after, I think it was WrestleMania 5. That's the one where Macho Man, the Mega Powers explode. They had been a tag team champs all year, and then over Mrs. Elizabeth, a backstage fight, Macho Man and Hulk Hogan went at it. They called it the Mega Powers Explode, WrestleMania 5. I was so pissed after watching my boy Macho Man beat that man for 20 minutes straight. Hulk Hogan's never got a punch in. And he did the drop the leg. Won the match. He did like 2 things. And that was it. It was over. And Macho had dropped the ring belt on his throat. I was upset. I stopped watching WWE. I started watching WCW. And I saw my favorite wrestler in WCW was Lex Luger. And I actually, in the 90s, was his bartender when he came through this town. He would park it right in front of my friggin' bar. And that man was huge. He was a mammoth human being. If you've seen him now, you would never believe he was as big as he was. And it all because he fell asleep on a plane the wrong way. And it fucked him up. But anyway, let's see. WrestleMania 5, Mega Powers Explode. That's right. Yes. Wolverine says, horror movies are the same. Most actors playing the baddie are very nice people in real life. No doubt. Wolverine. I'm glad you said that because, look, 2 years ago, the governor came through here. The most hated man in The Walking Dead, Attacked a prison not once but twice. Killed Herschel. Just evil son of a bitch. Right? Nicest dude you'd ever want to meet, man. Me and Foxy got to meet him 2 years ago, and he is a great dude. He really is. Tall. That guy is a big human being. He could have wrestled if he put on a couple of pounds, man. That's a big dude. But yeah, it's true. The guys that play the bad guys, I'm sure Robert Englund's the nicest guy in the world. Right? Freddie? I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure of it. Let's see. Small Time Republic Matt, how you doing, man? Did you make it home? Howdy Joe is indeed the man. So great to meet you. Yeah, if you guys don't know, me and Small Time Republic met on Thursday. He was on his way through here, on his way to a charity event in Plano, Texas. And that sorry sap sucker got to meet friggin' Chrissy Mayer. Sorry, bastard. But it's good to see you, Matt. Good to see you, man. This is something I do when Danny can't make it to the show. It's called Chillin at the Club. I just get on and talk about what everybody wants to talk about. Ariel says they never held the title, though. They never held the... Really? They didn't have the tag team titles? I thought they did. Well, that's true, because Macho was the champ at the time. I forgot about that. I'm sure they beat the champs though in a non-title fight. I'm sure they beat the champs back then. I'll have to look it up. WWE tag titles. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Let's see. Royal Fox is giving us an update. She says KC up 3-0. Dinked in a field goal. Really? Ricochets. I love these kickers this year. They're either bombing them from 70 yards out or they're ricocheting them off the posts. It's like the closer it is, the harder we're going to make it ourselves. Let's see. Ariel says, and that was a year-long storyline of the Mega Powers between WrestleMania 4 and 5, with Hogan helping Macho getting the belt from $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. And like I said, I've met Ted DiBiase. Great dude. Really cool dude. Martin says the governor in the TV show was a little Girl Scout with cookies and all compared to his comic book version. Well, it was for TV, man. What do you want? They can do all kinds of things in comics, especially those comics. I don't even think they went by the comics code, did they? Matt says, made it home a couple hours ago. Yeah, man. It was great to meet you, Matt. And look forward to meeting you again. I guarantee you, me and Rhonda will be down around your part of the world sometime within the next couple of years. I guarantee it. And we will make time to go eat with you in Mobile, for sure. Let's see. Everybody's saying hi to them. And let's see. 3:41 left in the first quarter. And they're up 3-0. We'll see what happens. Small Time says, I'm seeing where Stephanie McMahon is going into the WWE Hall of Fame. Yes, absolutely. The American Badass rolled into the pay-per-view the other night on his Harley and went out, met her in the stands and told her and gave her a big hug and stuff. He was the one that told her that she was going in the Hall of Fame. They may be running out of people. No, they're not running out of people. She should have been in there a while ago. Now, you know she was the hub of a lot of things Triple H was doing back then. She should be in there just because of the China Triple H thing, right? You know, those of you that know the lore. But like I was trying to tell Ariel earlier, I stopped watching after WrestleMania 5 and I watched WCW. You know, I was a Lex Luger fan. I can't see Joe playing those Telltale games of The Walking Dead like John because of all the reading. Yeah, if it's got a lot of reading, you're absolutely right. I'm not playing it. No doubt about it. Let's see. I'm seeing where Steph... Oh, yeah, that's right. I already read that. And we got that one. I'm sorry. This is messing me up. Okay. By the way, Matt, sorry about what my boys did to your Auburn Tigers. Sorry about that. That was a good game, though. It was a good game. And my Seahawks, yeah, I had a better weekend than Small Time Republic. Both of his teams lost to me this week. My Sooners beat his Auburn Tigers, and my Seahawks beat the shit out of his. He expected the Saints to lose, I'm sure. But Auburn had a chance, but what are you going to do? Martin says Kenny did nothing wrong. Yeah, he never does anything wrong, but he keeps getting killed for it, doesn't he? Sorry, bastards. Damn. Errol says maybe if WWE finally lifts the boycott wrestlers from being in the Hall of Fame, we'd get One-Man Gang, Akeem, the African Dream, and the first real black man of wrestling. Yeah, man, I could see that. I look, with Vince gone, you know, even before Vince was gone, like, they put Macho Man in finally. And a lot of people thought Macho would never go in, you know. Because you know what the rumor is there. You know, that he actually messed around with Stephanie, you know, at a very young age. That's scary. I hope that's not true. But, as well as Demolition. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Auburn loss was tough. The Saints won 7-6 for the second half. Yeah. That they did. You're right. Yep. When we put in the backups, You guys beat us up. Yep. Let's see. I don't think Joe knows who Akeem, the African Dream, is. I may not know who that is. I don't protest to know everything about wrestling. The entire Attitude Era passed me by. Stone Cold, never watched him in a match. Never. I've only seen him as an old man get in there with other people at pay-per-views. But I do dig him. I've seen a lot of his promos and stuff, and I think his character was really cool. He's my best friend's favorite wrestler, but I never watched him in his prime. My favorite version of The Undertaker was the first one I ever saw, the Gravedigger. All this other stuff, the Priest, the Badass, all this. Give me the Gravedigger any day. With what was that guy's name with the urn would come out there with him? Oh shit, he died a couple of years ago. I remember covering that on a wrestling show when he died. Oh, see, that's gonna kill me now. I can't remember. I'm gonna have to look up his name now. Undertaker's manager. Yeah, there it is. Thank you, Ariel. Paul Bearer. Yep. Yeah, I've never claimed to know everything about wrestling, darling, but there is certain guys that I really like and I follow them. Let's see. He was there in the mid to late 80s. Let's look him up real quick. You said Akeem, not Hakeem? Let's see. Akeem, the African Dream. If you end up sending me to some porn site, I'm going to be upset. Let's see. There's a figure of him on eBay. What's it going for? Check it out. He's going for $65 on eBay. Hey. Let's see. Trexie Pringle? I don't know what that is. The greatest black wrestler ever. Okay. Well, let's check it out. Let's see what we got here. Oh, he was the one-man gang. Is that who you're talking about? He was Akeem, the African Dream. Prior to this, he was the top heel for the UWF. See? Universal Wrestling Federation. I'm telling you, man. And that's Mid-South Wrestling. Look at that. Hang on. Let me go ahead and go down this rabbit hole real quick. Bill Watts' Mid-South Wrestling. Yes! That's what it was late in its career. Gotcha. Yeah, I know who the one-man gang is. I never saw him as that character. Never saw him as that character. But, yeah, I know who he is. Let's see. I used to work with Paul Bearer's son. Sadly, he suddenly passed away in his 30s. Really? Really? Was he overweight like his dad or something? Or? That's a shame. Damn. Ariel says, yeah. Royal Fox says, Tracy Jr. of Giants, injury to the right arm, running back, Scattaboo in to replace him. Look out. I am a fan of Scattaboo. I loved watching him at fucking Arizona State, I think it is. Sun Devils, right? He played for the Sun Devils. That guy's a tank. Reminds me a lot of the dude that's behind me here. The guy that was on the Madden cover. Yeah, man. Reminds me a lot of him. I love guys like that. Look, guys, we're fixing to shut her down, but I have to say this before we get out of here. Guys like Scattaboo, Mike Allstott, Moose Johnston. I love great fullbacks, man. Love them. If you remember the perfect season, the Miami Dolphins, they had two running backs. The halfback was Jim Kick. The fullback was Larry Zonka. Human tanks, I'm a big fan of. I love it. Their careers are extremely short. But boy, for that amount of time. John Riggins, he wasn't going to run forever. But boy, he was going to give you everything. And Earl Campbell didn't run forever. Matter of fact, the man can barely walk now, but he gave it his all every down. Adrian Peterson isn't going to be able to walk when he's 50, but gave you everything on every down, man. They just refused to go down. Love them. Love guys like that. They're awesome. And I think those teams, you look at the teams that are going farther in the NFL these days, they got fullbacks. They have got fullbacks, and they can run the football when they need to. William the Refrigerator Perry was a runner. That was one of the most genius moves by Mike Ditka of all time. Putting that guy in the goal line. Didn't need a fullback in front of him. Huge. Huge. All right, boys and girls, we're going to wrap it up for tonight. I want to thank you guys for being here, everybody in the chat. Martin Acosta Santana, Wolverine of the Quarter Jew, Royal Fox giving us the updates in the game, Ariel schooling me on wrestling, which I love. You school me some more on wrestling, because I love wrestling, man. I do. I could do a wrestling show, but if I had to do a current content wrestling show, it would take up my entire week. You know how many hours of wrestling? I'd have to watch New Japan, AAA, TNA, MLW, and I'd want to watch more and more and more and more and more. It would be a rabbit hole that would just take up my whole day. My wife's seen it. It's an ugly thing. I don't want to do it. No. I'd rather just keep up with Wrestling Observer Live and my guys from the UK. I highly recommend Wrestle Talk. Support Wrestle Talk. Please do, because I love those guys. I really do. They're awesome. Okay. So, we're going to wrap it up for tonight. I want to thank everybody for being here. Matt, it was a pleasure to meet you this weekend. Definitely, bud. You guys, we'll be by to see you next time, man. We'll take you out to eat. Let's see. What's going on here? See, this was fun. Until next time, everyone, stay out of trouble or don't get caught. I'm going to do the don't get caught thing because I get in trouble a lot, especially with my mother here now. I get in trouble a lot, guys. But it's okay. I have no problems watching TNA. Well, consider the context. Yeah. I can see not having a problem watching TNA. But in this case, it stands for total nonstop action. Not tits and ass, buddy. All right? Let's see. Old school wrestling. OSW. Yes. Wrestling bios. Yes. Yes. Okay. All right, boys and girls. Let's see what's going on with the channel before we get out of here. First of all, I want to remind you to go by joesatmosphere.com and check out the action buttons there. You got one that'll take you to the subscribe star page if you want to see all the behind the scenes stuff on the comic book. The other button there will take you to Kindle where you can check out my $1 preview look at what the Privateer comic book is going to look like. And I think I'm doing okay. After watching looking at some of the stuff that's being put, I'm not EVS. I'm not going to do any kind of detail like that. He does fantastic stuff. I'm not as good as Shane Davis. I'm not as good as these pros. I'm an amateur. But what you're going to get is a great story, and pretty sure it's going to be better than Golden Patriot. I'm just saying. Just saying. It's probably going to be better than that, because I was looking at that the other day and I was like, a lot of wasted space on these pages. But anyway, let's go ahead and wrap things up. Of course, you're watching Chillin' at the Club number 11. Hopefully we won't have number 12 next week. Hopefully it'll be the Brothers Hack the Matrix next week. You guys tune in at 6 p.m. Central Time for either show. Hopefully Highlander will be ready to go, and we will show you everything about the clown show that is 2025 through today's headlines. The Brothers Hack the Matrix every Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Time, or we'll have another Chillin' at the Club. And then, of course, tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Time, it's time for Military Monday. I think we're doing Jeremiah Johnson tomorrow. Martin, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, please. But I think the late, great Robert Redford has been the focus of a few things here lately. So I think that's what they're doing tomorrow night. And we will be talking about it at 10 a.m. Central Time tomorrow morning. Me, Gary, Anima, Pope, and Martin will be on at 10 a.m. Central Time on Pop Culture Minefields channel. And then, of course, at 4 p.m. Central Time, it's Only Talkin' Roll comes your way. And That 70s Rock Fan will be presenting the Battle of Britain. He bumped it for a week because he had to take care of his wife last Monday. And we're going to be, I think it's the 85th anniversary of that battle. So we're going to be doing that movie. And so you guys come check it out on It's Only Talkin' Roll on That 70s Rock Fans channel at 4 p.m. Central Time tomorrow. And then, of course, at 6:30 p.m. Central Time tomorrow, it's time for Papa Joe Gamer After Dark, Video Games, Cocktails, and Fails. And, of course, it's part 2 of Mass Effect 3, my first time playthrough of Mass Effect 3. I had a good start last week. So you guys come check it out. Next week, we're going to play some more Mass Effect 3 at 6:30 p.m. Central Time this Monday. And then, of course, Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central Time, it's back over to Pop Culture Minefields channel, where you can check out Wednesday's afternoon matinee. I don't know what show we're doing there. Let me check the chat. He might have put it in there. Don't know. Let's see. Martin says tomorrow we're doing Under Siege with Steven Seagal. Okay, that's cool. I'm a Steven Seagal fan. That'll work. Wolverine says good night, y'all. Gonna watch the game. Okay, that's good. Good for you. I'm fixing to watch the game myself. And then let's see who else is. Errol says, "Boy, did Steven Seagal balloon up like Scotty from Star Trek?" Yeah, he did. Hey, you know, when you got it like that, you can do that. I guess. I don't know. I think he's an idiot for divorcing Kelly LeBrock, but I digress. Wednesday's afternoon's matinee, it'll be Gary, Anima, Martin, and myself talking about a great movie at 3 p.m. Central Time. So come check it out, boys and girls, over on Pop Culture Minefields channel on Wednesday. And then, of course, Wednesday evening is my pop culture show that I do every week. It's my favorite show to do. State of the Atmosphere, where we give you the pop culture update, movies, and it's going to be a lot of movies this week. We're going to be talking everything that's coming out in October, and there's quite a few movies coming out in October. I don't know if any of them are going to do gangbusters, but we'll see. The Rock even has one coming out that a lot of people say he may be nominated for an Oscar for it. The Smashing Machine's coming out. So we're going to talk about all the premieres coming out in October. Since it's the last Wednesday of the month, we'll talk about what's coming out next month. This Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Central Time on State of the Atmosphere. And then, of course, Friday, you can watch me do some more work on the comic book on Sketching the Privateer. And don't forget to go to joesatmosphere.com if you want to give Amazon $1, because I'm not seeing much of it, and check out the 5-page preview. Those are the pages you see behind my characters there, fanned out on the thumbnail. You guys come check out the work I'm doing at 1 p.m. Central Time on Friday, and that brings us right back around to NFL pregame party. Hopefully the stream will work this Sunday morning. I guess I'm going to have to get in here as soon as I get out of church and check all the bells and whistles and make sure everything's working. But I'm sorry about this morning, guys, but I will replay everything so you can keep up with the picks we're making if you are worried about that. Right now, my father is leading the picks. He's 2 picks ahead of me 2 weeks in. We'll see how it's going with today's results. But anyway, John and Ron were tied coming into this week, and they were, I want to say, 2 games behind me, maybe 3. I had 24, and they were at 21. So they like to pick a few long shots here and there, though. But anyway, you guys come check it out. 10 a.m. every Sunday morning, NFL pregame party when the damn stream works. I don't know what it is about Sunday morning, but it doesn't want to work for some reason. You guys come check it out. 10 a.m. Central Time. I will attempt to have a stream on football. And that brings us right back around to this window of opportunity. So, for myself and everybody in the chat, I want to thank you for being here. And until we see you again, I want you guys to keep on keeping on. Oh, wait. I got to get the order of this stuff together. I'm sorry. Sometimes when I'm doing it in the club, I really don't have it together. Okay. Until I see you again, you guys keep on keeping on. Hang loose. God bless. Don't forget, boys and girls, whether you like them small, medium, or large. Titty Tuesday begins all the way on to Sunday evening every week here on Joe's Atmosphere. You guys take it easy. We'll see you next time. Peace.